Okay, we gotta talk about House of the Dragon. We gotta talk about it. I watched it last night, and I actually did something a little bit different with this one. But I watched it last night, and I thoroughly enjoyed it. I actually did. I was surprised. It had this weird thing going against it, where you have something that came before it that was fantastic up until the last couple of seasons of Game of Thrones. So you have expectations from that show already coming into this new show, which is set 172 years from the original, before Game of Thrones, which I think was great. I love how they did that in the beginning. They show, hey, this is this amount of time from Daenerys Targaryen. So don't get this confused. This little girl who looks like her is not her. I like how they did that, which was pretty great. All right, so spoilers. There's going to be some spoilers. So I'm going to show a couple things as far as like a little screen of the characters because I don't remember everybody's names. And it's going to kind of show who lives and who dies already in the first episode of season 1. So if you have not seen the show, you might want to get out of here. We're going to kind of go a little deep into it a little bit. This is going to be too long. So yeah, I'll give you a minute to get out of here. If you're still here, I guess you saw it. All right, here we go. Overall, this show I think is off to a good start. It feels very familiar. I watched episode 1 of season 1 of Game of Thrones after I watched this episode to see kind of how they compare, and they feel very, very similar, which is good. So you feel like you're in the same world. I think this new show does a good job of that. Outside of that, this show really has to make you connect to these characters because we're so connected to, the Starks and the Lannisters, from the original show. You got to do a really good job of helping us connect to new characters in this world. I think they did an okay job. Nobody felt like they were a carbon copy of a previous character, at least to me, currently, from the first season. My favorite character already is Damon Targaryen. I think Matt Smith does a great job with the character already. I've already connected to him of all the characters. And I think Viserys, he does pretty well. Like you can tell he's kind of weak in the role. He's trying to prove himself, while still being, faithful to, his grandfather's legacy, I guess, in a sense. So, there is that, but I really did enjoy Matt Smith in this role. Like he seems layered in the role, the most layered of most of the characters. I think, what's her name? Rhaenyra. Am I saying that right? I'm going to say a lot of names wrong, so just bear with me. But, Rhaenyra, she seems layered to a degree, but she feels so much like Daenerys, right now, early Daenerys. Not really like wanting to go for the throne, but just in the sense of just her being. I don't know, it's something that when I see her and I see Daenerys Targaryen. So that's just what that is. Maybe that was on purpose. I'm sure it had to be, to a degree, given the way that she says, was it Dracarys? The way she tells the dragons to use their fire. It just all felt very familiar. Now, one thing I'll say about the show, and I hope this doesn't continue, but I liked a lot of the nods to the original show, bringing up the Song of Ice and Fire, the Dracarys part, that was cool. Just a lot of little nods here and there, seeing the Baratheons, seeing House Stark, seeing how this is a prequel. We're going to see the names of characters we know as far as last names or houses. Okay, so we've got a few people here that we need to kind of review, because when it comes to this show, again, you're going to see a few things. You're going to see some people that are already dead, obviously. And one character that actually does die in this episode, and it's brutal. I think this show does a good job of, again, showing us, like, the houses that we know, characters that maybe we hadn't met, but we know their offspring or eventual offspring. And so that was actually pretty cool to see. Like House Stark, the Baratheons. There was one other one, I can't remember, but, seeing some of that was cool. But also knowing that because, and spoiler alert, again, I'm saying it right now, Rhaenyra, she becomes the heir to the throne after Viserys pretty much makes a decision for his wife, who was pregnant and in labor, to pretty much sacrifice her for the child because he just knew it was going to be a boy. Ends up being a boy, but the boy dies too. And so the son and the wife, they are dead. And she dies in just an excruciating way. And I know there's going to be all this talk about like, oh, this is just a highlight of, the wokeness and showing, men are in control of women's bodies and da da da. No, like, yes, And that is how it was back then, and like in a time like this, when it comes to like medieval times and things of that nature. That's how it was, for sure. The king would make decisions that, was about lineage or about love and, one, just protecting his wife, someone that he should be protecting. In this case, he decided to go for his lineage and his family and his line and keeping the child. And the child died too. So that whole scene, that whole sequence of scenes, because it goes in conjunction with like this little tournament that's happening at the same time, that was also very brutal. The violence, the way they depict it here is actually really great. It's on par again with Game of Thrones. I feel like this one, as far as the violence, the depiction of violence, is heavier than episode 1 of season 1 of Game of Thrones. You got some heads getting lobbed off and things like that, but this one kind of takes the cake when it comes to the violence depiction. I feel like maybe they felt they had to go that way just to kind of keep you engaged with these brand new characters. Because, why should we care? That's kind of where it is. Why should we care? Like, prequels can they come and go, and there's sometimes no reason for them. But in this one, I feel like there's a lot they could do with these new characters and characters that are, again, the ancestors of characters that we know from the original. I think it's cool how they can go about it and use these characters in the right way to, one, make rewatching Game of Thrones, which I'm going to do, which I started yesterday, obviously, rewatching Game of Thrones even more fun. So again, we got Rhaenyra. She is the daughter of Viserys Targaryen and Aemma Arryn. Is that how you say that? I'm going to say names wrong. Don't worry about it. But again, she's already pretty much like Daenerys. Damon Targaryen, he's so far Matt Smith, great in the role, love it. Rey, I don't think we've seen her yet. She's somewhere else where Damon's been sent off because he was pretty much kind of doing some crazy stuff. Wanting the throne, but kind of speaking ill of his dead nephew, saying he was heir for a day, which is like, that's messed up. So we haven't seen her yet. His wife. We've seen the girl that he's been plowing in the episode. But he takes her with him to wherever he's going. So, which is odd. Otto Hightower here. He's already pretty great in the role here. Was it Rise Ifans? I always say his name wrong, but he's pretty great in the role. He's kind of in this place where it's like, is he kind of trying to stab the king in the back? Is he not? Like, is he going to end up doing something like that because he doesn't like the decisions the king is making? Who knows? Sir Otto Hightower is a knight of House Hightower and serves as the hand of the king to Viserys Targaryen. He dutifully protects Westeros from his seat on the king's small council. He has fathered one daughter, Alicent, and is often at odds with the king's brother and heir, Prince Daemon Targaryen. They go at it multiple times in this episode, and it's actually pretty funny. He views him as the most dangerous threat to the prosperity of the realm. And there's a lot of talk on that. And that's kind of what makes Matt Smith's character, again, he's very layered just in his responses to people, and also the way that he nurtures Rhaenyra as well. So there's like moments of that. So I'm very interested to see kind of where Daemon goes in that. And then we got Daemon here, the younger brother of King Viserys Targaryen. Daemon is a fierce, albeit unpredictable warrior. He does some things in this episode that are like very questionable, and people are like applauding him. I'm like, that was a low blow. That's awful. But they love him. They love him. Serving on the king's small council, Daemon is no stranger to ruffling feathers, particularly those of his brother. Happens a lot during this episode as well. But he's just great in the role. It's really awesome to see kind of how he goes about it. This was a cool kind of dynamic here because I knew nothing about this character. I don't know, did they change this character's race or anything? Corlys Velaryon. Hope I'm saying that right as well. It's been a while. Lord Corlys Velaryon is the leader of a formidable family with ancient roots and is married to Princess Rhaenys Targaryen. She was passed over, it says right here, she was passed over in favor of Viserys to rule. Nicknamed the Sea Snake in his youth, Lord Corlys was the greatest explorer in Westeros and is now master of ships and King Viserys' small council. The richest man in Westeros, his vast wealth includes the largest navy in the world, which puts him in a powerful position at court. He is master of Driftmark, an island west of Dragonstone and Blackwater Bay. That is the seat of House Velaryon. Okay. A shrewd man, the Sea Snake often disagrees with the king about his approach to the realm, but remains loyal to the crown. That kind of speaks to him to a T. Like you saw that in the scenes that he's in when he's speaking to the king or to the council and kind of giving his ideas or his thoughts and kind of more or less his position and what he thinks should be done. But also he remains loyal to the crown and to the throne. So that, like, you could see that just in his portrayal. Who knows what could come of that, especially with his wife being passed over and being passed over again, because now the daughter is going to be heir to the throne. What comes from that? That'll be interesting to see, but I already like his character in the show as well. You see his kids there a couple of times, I think at the tournament, which is kind of cool. But yeah, this, it's already interesting. It's already interesting. I'm very intrigued. Do I think it was a better season opener than Game of Thrones season 1, episode 1? Not really, because I feel like it had to rely on like the violence and action a little bit too hard. Where the first episode of season 1 of Game of Thrones, I feel like it did a better job of like introducing characters, and I was able to remember people's names very quickly and very easily. I needed to do this for myself and with you guys, but for myself. So I could try to remember people's names, because stuff was happening. I was like, I don't really know who's who necessarily. And there's not a whole lot of characters you have to remember. I feel like actually the first episode of Game of Thrones, it kind of threw a lot of characters at you, but I still enjoy it. And this one I enjoy too. So I'm looking forward to this. I'm looking forward to getting to this world, back in this world, in this time. And I hope you guys do it with me, because I'll try to do these every week, as far as, just little recaps of the episode. Again, I think the characters are great. Matt Smith knocked it out of the park for me. I connected to him very quickly. I'm interested to see kind of where his character goes in this one. Kind of like Jaime Lannister in Game of Thrones. Like, I connected to his character, and not in the way that he's, his love of incest, but, with his sister, but just in the sense that, I don't know, he's gravitating. You just gravitate to a character like that, just the gravitas that he brings going to the role, and also just when he comes in a room. Either something crazy is about to happen, or something funny or crazy is about to be said with the character, and he just kind of keeps you on your toes. So he's already a standout for me, and I'm interested to see more of him in the role. As far as other characters that come into play, because we know there's more characters that will be showing up. If you watch the little trailer for the season after episode 1, it shows a lot of characters that are going to be introduced. So I'm interested in that too. I don't know all the history or remember all the history from Game of Thrones into this, so it's still going to feel brand new for me overall. A lot of dragons in this episode as well. They had like 10 dragons. They only show about 2 of them in this episode, but it was just cool to kind of see that dynamic as well, and how it plays into how they rule and things of that nature. So again, let me know your thoughts in the comments below on House of the Dragon, episode 1, season 1. I look forward to spending time with you guys on these each week, and hope you guys enjoy these. Members, subscribers, watchers, appreciate you guys. However you support this channel, I think it's awesome that you do. And again, I really appreciate it, and I thank you so much. I will see you guys as always on the next video, and I hope you have yourselves a great rest of the day. Take care.